Alright. It's your Glasgow Genuine here and the Celtic Dafty, Celtic Maddie, by the way. Oh, I forgot something. Forgot to put my traffic on. There's no me. Like, there's no me, no Glasgow Genuine without this traffic on. So I'm putting it just now. Alright, my pals, subscribers, and the fellow Celtic fans. It's your Glasgow Genuine here. So, how's it feel today? Before another Celtic match with Falkirk this evening. Can't wait. Suppose use as well. So in today's video, I'm going to take you for a wee journey back in time. Tell us a bit about Glasgow trams. You had Glasgow trams. Unfortunately, trams in Glasgow are no longer with us, but that's how I'm taking you, especially those older generations of Glaswegians and some younger generations as well, for a wee journey back in time. I'll tell us a bit about this fantastic Glasgow tram system. So, next I'm going to talk about, of course, start with about Celtic, that previous match, last match. And a bit about Celtic board. Plus, I'm going to teach you some Scots language. You heard very well, because that's the very language is spoken in Glasgow. And maybe Glaswegians don't know, have no idea what is that language called. What is it called, that language? But I'm going to explain it to you properly. It's a Scots language. The language spoken in Glasgow, it's dialect of that language. So it's called Glasgow dialect of Scots. So Glasgow uses Scots. So it's the west of Scotland. Yeah, the west of Scotland uses Scots language. So I'm going to teach you a bit. Start my workshop. Start to teach you some pattern as well, mundane, some forms and some expressions. So I'm just starting. So your Glasgow Genuine is going to tell us about. Of course, it's my match report. So I'm going to start the last Celtic match. We Aberdeen. Of course we won it. Why Celtic lost it in a Scottish Cup in summer? No idea. They should have hammered them the way they did last Sunday. So that was pure brilliant fucking to watch, man. Performance wasn't that brill, but still. That power, that hunger to win. Pure brilliant. What can I tell you about first? It's of course my match report. You can find it on Celtic blog. Fresh for opening the victory against St Mirren. Celtic travelled to Pittodrie for a meeting with Aberdeen. Or sheep. A team still crowning over their Scottish Cup final win against us last season. So this was a chance for the boys to take a bit of revenge. It was a fucking revenge one. So the opening stages were scrappy, sloppy, and so Celtic look a little bit sloppy in possession, but allowing Aberdeen to press aggressively. So the home side weren't shy about putting a boot in, and the referee go to early on. Aberdeen looked determined to unsettle us. So as you know, what is Celtic tried to settle into the rhythm. So the first clear chance came in the 15th minute of match of the meeting of the game, when Aberdeen just broke through in their box. So they were in a dangerous position, but failed to convert. So they forced that fine save that Celtic goalkeeper after beating controversially allowed. An obvious handball to go unpunished, you know. So it was just an early reminder. It's just a man, I need to step it up. So Celtic started to look more dangerous as a half war on. In 26th minute, the breakthrough came. Kieran Tierney drove forward down for the lifting whip excellent Botaniglian, who finished superbly to make it 1-0 and was the man's debut. Here's how this is my notes on match, so I have to find out how I summed it up. So it's 26th minute of the game, and the Celtic's new brilliant star Benjamin Nigrin scored a fantastic goal and made it 1-0 for the Hoops. Nigrin, first of all, Nigrin is a new Celtic signing for Sweden, and it looks very promising. And during the last meeting, last game, he made his debut, scoring his first goal for the club, for our Celtic Lions. That's how I summed it up, you know. That's the new. It's a pure thick and brown transfer business, but we're waiting for more because the transfer window is still opened. The goal lifted Celtic confidence as usual. Celtic is a hero. First of all, it's a hero. You can score, and then Hatate and McGregor took control of the midfield. So listen, there's a midfield breaking up. Aberdeen's attempt to counter is a called them sheep. I suppose afraid another half chance before a break. So but the Hoops went in a half time that deserved 1-0 lead. During the second half, Celtic started sharply, but determined to up a game back to bed. Maeda, Korsman, popping up in the central position, so doesn't cause sheep's defence by surprise. And for the sharp reaction, stop further keeper. So the Hoops kept pushing it at second goal, and Maeda went close. Making another effort blocked. Aberdeen just were increasingly pinned back. In the 70th minute of the game, Celtic finally doubled the lead. It was a lovely movement through midfield and the way Hatate in space. And the Miss midfielder drilled a precise shot and knocked it 2-0. So just minutes after, Maeda should have it 3-man. But he nipped in front of his marker. I just made a burst through, and with that goalkeeper I brought down, and the momentum for it could get the shot away, allowing the Aberdeen defenders to recover. As you know, Celtic continued to dominate possession in the closing stages, keeping the Sheeps at arm's length. So the Hoops going for a switch there was that was just never get a real danger at home side that first and back into it. It was a tough match. It's a difficult venue, but our Celtic Lions found a way as usual. A professional, disciplined away performance. The win makes it 2 victories, 2 in league, another clean sheet, and the perfect builds up at our next game, a Celtic pack against Falkirk, and that game is the day. Hope you keep fingers crossed for our Celtic Lions. Singing songs in their glory. But first things first, that game is at home. It's in our paradise, so it should be great. But one advice to our Celtic Lions. So you kind of think that game is a piece of cake, because as you win it, and you win it, easily, and it's just a counter. It's a counter, man. No, you kind of think that way, because you should never underestimate your rival. Never, even if it's that one at the bottom of the table. Never. So be careful, my Celtic Lions today. One word about Celtic board, because you know that Celtic board is a pain in the arse. Aye, our Celtic board is a pain in the arse. It's just, and you know this well. And let me be honest here, pure honest, man. That the Celtic board is to blame. Is to be blamed for everything, for every fucking wrong decision for Celtic. Celtic board. Some people blame Brendan Rodgers. No, it's Celtic board. Brendan Rodgers is so ambitious. He wants this Celtic team to be more ambitious, to be pure fucking perfect. You know what I mean? To be perfect, to build something up, tactics, to improve it. He wants his players world class on the best caliber ones. A Celtic board, no. We may sell Kiego, we may sell Kuhn, we may sell Meda. We have nothing to in for replacement. We have nothing, and we have hundreds of monies in the bank. We can't do anything. Yeah, you know, that's a Celtic board. Pricks. Shame on them, man. Let me be straight here. It's not another article I wrote. I'm so proud of it. I'm so fucking proud of it. About Celtic, Brendan Rodgers as a Celtic gaffer versus Celtic board, you know. Because the fact is that Celtic board, they just don't want to improve the hoop squad. They don't care about us, the boys. Just have proven them in games as the best players like Kyogo Kun. And what else? Man, we don't know that. They may sell the best players of ours, the best players of Celtic, and then what? They're not allowed to do it. They should cooperate with the Celtic gaffer. They should. There's going to be lost in translation, lost interactions. Maybe it's a high time for changes at the very highest level of our club. Aye, is. Let me answer that. We Celtic fans know how this over again that just at the board making ridiculous fucking decisions. I show not even a hint of cooperation with the manager at all. I'm new to this, man, but I've done my homework. You know, for those who need it, let me remind you that I have presided over some transfer windows. Have been grateful. Just one manager, Angie, was able to get it. He wanted it. When he wanted it. And no surprise that I was the tremendous success. We ended up with more high-value players from the first windows than I had in years. So but surely this board has worked hard to sell them. Aye. Rodgers fights for his decisions. Fucking always, man. He wants top-level caliber players. And our brilliant board, I put quotation marks here, brill board, is not willing to cooperate at all. How no? As they are not ambitious at all. They won't even replace that. Key players have lost far less bring and the others strengthen the team. So yes, Brendan Rodgers has met a strong transfer windows for his ambitions and marketers and top level players. But there have also been windows where a business wasn't successful at all. Windows that bring nothing but frustration for Celtic fans. Let me tell you, we Celtic fans are not naive, man. We know that our brill board must often first back Rodgers in the way. They should, as to how the transfer process has become such a lightning rod for criticism. So, now let's talk about our transfer windows that get the patches now properly replaced. Let me highlight the most important point that here, it's not Rodgers' fault that we failed in some of these transfers. Throughout his time, Celtic gaffer, those at the highest level have simply sold their best players, whilst leaving the team weaker, not stronger at all. Take that last transfer window in January, complete disaster, man. The hopes lost our best strikers at the modern age, Kiego. Still no proper replacement has been found. Yes, Celtic signed Callum Osmond. May one day be a brill, but he's still young and nowhere near the experience or quality we need just now. So, for this board, finding a top class striker is apparently too difficult. Fucking pure solid. It seems like Celtic board is interested in money and their seats. Certainly not the boys. This is not new, man. In previous years, where Brendan Rodgers was a gaffer, Celtic gaffer, who lost Musa Dembele, Ozona Edward, O'Reilly, Kyogo, Kun, others. These players were critical parts of the team. So we only have them kept them on some mere we don't even fight it. Musa Dembele signed for Celtic during the year 2016. Rodgers first signing, one of his favourites. He was stunning hat-trick. The 5-1 victory over Sifco at Celtic Park. But what? Again, Celtic board dismissed him. We bought Edward, part of the same side. Fav of Rodgers. Can't even imagine it. Again, Celt. Cause of decisions, bad Celtic board. Kyogo joined, as you know, in 2021. January 25. I don't know how. The Celtic board again. Celtic board again. One of the best strikers ever. Kun, another talent sort. I don't know why that happened. Leave the team weaker? Aye. Kyogo Furuhashi. Where is his replacement? You have to see a replacement, proper replacement for Kyogo. Then Kun, another terrible, another loss, another talent sort, as I mentioned. Where is his replacement? Still waiting. Celtic board, move your arses. And they never be wiser, never. I mean, it's high time, man, to change that Celtic board. Put Celtic in the hands of the people who care about our interests, our good name, and our future as well. In order to avoid fucking disaster. Alright, let's keep fingers crossed for Celtic Lions in the day's match. We Falkirk at Celtic Park, so I'm going to remind you that game is at Celtic Park, so it'll be Pew de Brewin. So. No. It's me talking about, as you know, some of you know, older generation Glaswegians, you know Glasgow trams. You know that in around 1870s, to be more precise, in 1872, Glasgow trams appeared, but those driven by horses. Then the trams were electrified around 1894, to be more precise. And then around 1901-2, there was no a tram driven by a horse in the mare, just electrified ones. Glasgow lost trams around, to be more precise, on 4th of September 1962. And around 1964, Queen Elizabeth opened a transport museum in Kelvin Hall. Moved to Riverside Museum, just now called Riverside Museum. There you can find old Glasgow transport, even old Glasgow subway, trains, wagons, carriages from the 1980s, and some trams as well, preserves. But that was just a shortcut. Early days of the trams, Glasgow has, by the way, the largest tram system in the world. You know what I mean? The largest tram system in the world. So, Glasgow's first, let me sum it up. Glasgow's first trams were horse-drawn, again operating around 1872. The system was electrified around 1890, so the first electric trams ran in 1894. By 1922, Glasgow Corporation trams operated over 1,000 trams and more than 100 miles of routes, making that the largest tramway system in Europe. The Glasgow tramway was non-standard 8 gauge, slightly narrower than standard gauge. The Coronation class, let me say that. A notable fleet is extremely that trams that are called Coronation class, but as they introduced in 1937, 1941, municipalisation, the Glasgow Corporation took a tram system around, as I said, as I mentioned, around 1894. Establishing the Glasgow Corporation Tramway. Glasgow modernised its fleet including introduction of coronation class in the 1930s and early 1940s. Let me tell you that Glasgow Corporation trams began around 1894. A system comprised via non-standard gauge tram lines, where the horseshoe tram cars. Overhead electric traction was trialled in around 1897 and replaced the old system by in 1902. Let me answer our questions. What tram cars did the tramways use? Known in Glasgow as the cores. There were various types used over years, man. Double-decker standard became, as was the man, iconic and meant by designed and closed. But previously, open top deck instead of motormanskap now. Much better for protecting against Glasgow's inclement weather. Glasgow refreshed some trams stress system up to in late 1930s. Can you guess how many trams were in the Glasgow streets once? In 1894, there were almost 400 horse-driven tram cars. By 1940, there were around 1,000 electric cars in use. As I mentioned, the last day of trams was the 4th of September 1962. So trams disappeared to the streets of Glasgow. Some of the hundreds of Glaswegians gathered. They say farewell to the trams. Now it's confined at trams, of course, in the Riverside Museum. Built around 2011 and replaced that original one, Transport Museum. Because some of the Glaswegians say that Transport Museum was a way better in comparison with the Riverside Museum, but with the atmosphere vibes. But alright, now let me show you, because I don't know if you know what that is. You know what that is. So this is the tram rosettes. You can find them if you spot, if you look up, if you are in Glasgow and you look up, you can see that very, look carefully, very carefully. So you can see rosettes. It's a reminder of Glasgow's once great tram system. Alright. Relic is still visible. If you look up, Relic is still visible if you walk down Byers Road. Stop at the junction with Ruthven Lane and look up at the first floor of the neighbouring building. You will see some old trams, rosettes, anchors for the overhead tram wires provided electricity on the tram course and the Morseman. So they were called rosettes as their design incorporated floral decorations. So these ones rosettes. Show it once again. So now I'm going to start teaching you Scots language. Scots language is a language usually massively used in Glasgow, as known as Glasgow dialect of Scots, but not just in Glasgow. You may hear the Scots language in the west of Scotland, in a passage, even at Shetlands. You can hear the Scots language. It's derived from Doric language, Viking language. So I'm going to start teach you some Scots. Alright. First of all, let me tell you the history. Alright, fine. So Scots language, it covers a large area known as West Central Scots. Those speakers usually call the They're dialect Scots or Scotch, man. Scotch. I like Scotch Wales guy. Which are the traditional names for our language. Called within Glasgow, a distinct city dialect is also spoken and sometimes called the par. So during the 19th and 20th centuries, the language of this region began to split sharp between city and non-city, So people in the city who improved their standard of living came to associate Scots with poverty and lack of sophistication. So an idea encouraged by English medium education. So characteristics of Scots with history. During the 19th and 20th centuries, the language began to split sharp between city and non-city. People in the city who improved their standard were associated with Scots. Also, there was a large scale of influence for Highlands as well, and Irish migrants, because especially Glasgow was a hotspot for immigrants. The Irish immigration, hence we have 49.5% Irish immigrants in Glasgow. So, Gillespie. Una that had no standard. So, this resulted in two processes: a steady erosion of the Scots language in the city of Glasgow in favour of English forms, the emergence of the city dialect combining Scots, English, influences for Gaelic. See, Glasgow dialect of Scots is a combination of Scots, English, and Gaelic. Isn't that curious? Pure fucking brilliant, man. This means that the Glasgow city region has lost much of its Scots, but at the same time has coined hundreds of new words that are often absorbed into other dialects. May I remind you that Glasgow is very distinct. Glasgow is varies for the race of Scotland, as I mentioned hundreds of times, but I'm going to mention it hundreds of times as well. Glasgow has its own par language. So that's how Glasgow stands out for the crowd. The rest of Scotland thinks that Glasgow is nuts. I just love it. I'm pure crazy as well. Off my head. Me traffic come there. Right, move on to teaching, yes. For instance, Glasgow has introduced the Bureau, an employment office, and mentions graffiti. So, generally speaking, North Ayrshire and Lanarkshire, outside the Glasgow area, have retained Scots lost in the city. In Ayr and Lanark, people use traditional Scots words such as oa, bro, ken, I ken what you mean, aye. Nacht, makkel, away, fine, no, night, great, much. Oa, away, bro, fine, good. Ken, no, as nacht, night, great, makkel. And the poet who used Scots was, of course, Scottish hero Robert Burns. People in the accused forms such as a bin, get, she, pair, yin. So a bin above, get, good, show, she, back, poor, pair, one, yin. So in the Glasgow region, people see things such as a goni no deda, goni aravin, dena there. Don't do that. Don't do it, see? It transformed. It's not a day and there. Dena there. It's goni no deda. Goni no there. Right? So don't do it, man. Here's all parts of the dialect. So that's the pure curious. Kana and there are here pronounced canny and the any, whereas the and in north of Scotland these same words pronounced Canada. So is it common for people to cut forms as get off, get off, get out? Aye, get off, go off, get up, go up, get out, get out. The gaff, gap, go, water, bar, to where, and beer. It's water, it's bar, and where, to where. And the region people are there. And this region people say they, those, there, these. Bane, bone, stain, stone. Other structural forms, like you may see, it's more common for Glasgow vernacular, but it's still Scots. Yeah, you, use, like you, use, but in plural, it's use. Aye. So, or some, if you can't agree, if you can, you say, don't say can't, you say canny. Then you don't hear didn't most of the times, many a time, but you hear didn't. Yourself, yourselves, yourself, himself. That's wouldn't, welln't. You see that forms. So don't be surprised when in Glasgow as you see didn't, because he just said didn't, or can he just say can't, or just couldn't he? Say couldn't. I mean, it's couldn't, man. So, throughout that's whole of Glasgow and a local par accent. So, but throughout that Paul region, people say that child for wee, een, or little one, rather than bairn, wee, wen for baby. But bairn is Scots language, but it's used in Scotland, just Scottish word. But wen, it's specific for Glasgow. It's used specifically in Glasgow. So here, wen, wee, wen. For an example of Scots, I'm going to tell you that I read something to you for a poem by Janet Hamilton, who lived in Glasgow, was born in Glasgow. Example of Scots. See it. You're a dragged cotted beath, scrimpy and worn, and your roads a tush a bit dirty and torn, and round in the carpets is unseen fair. Thanks, tossy, your boomy, brown hair. They told the devil was cane or drink. They said a bit. His pooches a blink. As he got a clout, war it a dram. And the pioneers to another and a can. But you wouldn't be worried. If you're wearing a modry to often year other, a dune and a day. For a pair of tracking, Davy having a hop hour. See, you're greeting, tolling, fechting hour. The second answer for Scots is taken for a book written in 2011 by the writer, poet Rap Wilson. Another example. So, the book is Reim Fo and Gaulish and Canny de Licht. Barnett Carrot Keynes his stuff. He says, Free monies learned, Tom Gaze, and all that sauce proverbs be a score, the sexton affair and the meaning Kentralor. Repeat geist, stories, legend myths, use poetic quotes. They're in force, pence, he's at. Times Mackin, isn't scribes a vera, readable in the manner of vera, scales over else. They are a bilk academic style, but still a reader engaged and interested. At the end of elk section, you'll find a useful set of notes. There are waist and bro, illustrations black and white, colour. Beyond a biography, a great way section, further reading, exploring, an excellent index. In the world, our code supernatural, as a thing desire, and no on interest to us all. As een bacon mecht, je mecht, think, oh hi, another Burns big, though, and how we need. But John Bernard has magic produced book on as of the mebbies, as all we need. I certainly recommend it to all my fellow Bernatians. I'll recommend it to yourself as well. Hear that? So, some of the history. So the ancient times our region was a Britain spoken language. Akin to Welsh, Bernard to a capital than Barnorog, Anglo-Saxon one, the ancestor of Scots. It's also known were spoken at Gaelic were introduced that began to Everach Scots adopted Norman customs and fashions in 12th century. In the same period, Glasgow became an important centre of the medieval cathedral, Barrow and Bar, a subsequent heir. The Middle Ages Kennedy family centre Ayrshire, a Stuart family centre in Renfrew and Argyll became dominant in the Douglases in Lanarkshire. By the 16th and 17th centuries, the great family in the region were the Hamiltons. Glasgow began to increase in size. In the 11th century, largely due to the trade with Americas, becoming a great industrial centre of Scotland. 1800s, gradually absorbing its smaller surrounding boroughs. With Irish and Highland migration, Carnot Lake, famine in 1840s, further swelling the Arab population. Since the mid-20th century, the industrial structure of the region fallen a decay, unfortunately, and being largely swept away. The dialect may be divided because that of Scots. As I mentioned, Scots language is spoken in that passage west of Scotland, so it may differ in words part. As I mentioned, Glasgow is specific. Its pure special is different. As that may differ to the rest. Dialect may be divided broadly speaking in a region as the city of Glasgow, as I mentioned. The other district comprising North Ayrshire is the first South Newton, Fire, Lanark, Dumbarton, Renfrew. A group of speech Argyll, Arran, Bute, Country. Tunes included in that dialect are Campbelltown, Camernote, Dumbarton, Glasgow, Greenock, Hamilton, Kilmarnock, Largs, Motherwell, Paisley, Rothesay, and Wishaw. And down the River Clyde. Aye. So, here I give you some examples of Scots. If you just want to know some examples of Scots, right? So, if I, you know what it means, yes. Bahookie, backside. Here, bahookie down there. Baffies, slippers. Bairn, Wayne, child. Blither, we blither, aye. Long with the chat. Canny, can't. Clapin, telling tales. Quarry down, quarry. Caddle snuggle, crabbit. You're a crabbit face, man. Grouchy, grumpy. Crabbit haggis. A dip of liquid water. Duke, dur. Gloomy in manner appearance. Dram, measure of whiskey. Don't. Daydreaming. Ian, eyes. Fuff. To take some time to sort and get something done. Funkle, to entangle. Gallus, cheeky. Glaikit, dinna be glaikit, man. It's goofy. Great to cry. Goosen, equivalent to trick. Hackett, as you know, ugly. Hee-ho, love that expression. Hee-ho, nothing. Keek, we keek at that. Oh, we keek at that. Look at that. Haver, chat away, foolishly. Hodgin. Oh, the room. The boozer is hodgin. We have found them. The boozer is hodgin. So this hodgin is so crowded, man. Ken what you mean, man? So I know. Legs. Ears. Mate, no. Numpty. Didn't be numpty. Aye. Stupid. Oxter is your armpit. So the Peely it's pale, sick. Sassenach, Vander. Scannert, annoyed, but it's not just that. Raging is annoyed as well. Shiggle, chic. Splint, out the shape. Stramash, commotion, bro, messy situation. Way small, or in Glasgow is toy. Specifically Glaswegian. So, you've got it. Apologies for the stramash, man. Scott, Emma, Harry, Barry, great. Boggin, mention, below. Bonnie, pray. Stotter. She's pure brilliant, man. Stotter, she's a belter. She's a belter. So she's a belter. Great girl. Classic. Beautiful man. Bro. Real good. Bridge. Ben. A stream. I got Clay. Clary, monkey, monkey, dirty muddy. Cricket. Very one. Donner. No longer used in Glasgow, it's we walk. Dreich, pronounced Dreich. Drukke. Pure wet. It's very wet. Gloamin, dusk, gapped. Defeat heavily. Natural provides shelter in the mountains. Jaggy, snaky. Mengen. Screaming for a nice off. Nippy, pure Baltic, as you know, called. Thick, band, roasted. Very hot. Skiff. Stravagan. To roam, stroll, wander, ramble. Stravag. To roam, stroll, wander, ramble. Stravagan. To walk aimlessly in a golden hour. Somewhere. There's one restaurant in Glasgow called that way, Stravagan. So Stravagan means to walk aimlessly. Taps off in Glasgow. Trochelt, exhausted. Wabbit. Tired. Wee baby, the wee beasties, these fucking mages, wee beasties. Insects, pesky insects. Brook, badger, coo, cow. Crow, caddy, horse. Dog, duck, dog. Hula, moose, mouse. Paddock, frog. Toad, fox. Blood, very drunk. It's not just that blood. Madway, getting on it. Glasgow, steaming. And others. Bog vomit. Chot to chew. Drufty, pronounced drufty. Thirsty. Peas, sandwich. Poke, bag. Scran, food. Spirtle, a wooden porridge strike, stirrer. Swally. Baby, big gulp or mouthful drink. Toy. A potato. Scots freezes. There's some Glasgow party here. Look at that. I got it to Glasgow, of course. Pure Glasgow party. By the way, and I give you some expressions. How's it going, Chief? What are things if you're finding? Maybe a big man. You're getting felicitations like a grey bag said, smashing into it. That's very, very nice, isn't it? That was the rare term, man, by the way. I must say, I enjoy that. Super close. I look at a tenement building. We're out on the Randan. I was in the Randan. You're in the house. So the Randan is a party. It's a break video. I'm rapidly running the patients. Pure hackett, man. What's attractive? Come on, get off. The use of the trams. Come on, get off, man. This is for a ticket permits you to travel. Guess I'll slag here, Ginger. I'm gasping. So it means I have a drink of fizzy pop and change my thirst. You're right with crab, so you're terribly bad tempered to go and get that clown, I don't. Please rouse my husband for his slumber. How you doing, boss? That's miracle, man. That's very terrible. Sorry, being half shot knife that I can trifle fatigue. You've got face like a well-scared arse. You're looking at really red in that face. You're a top par merchant, pal. You're quite verbose, aren't you? Full bright check clipping on that. Please observe personal message. Here's another one of them. I'd like the same again, please. Alright, man, Jimmy. Didn't greet no stranger. My head is bursting. Very sore heat. What are we smashing with that? Detective man. Looking ready. On him. Cab's looking frightfully embarrassed. Ready. And also, my dear, winter conditions are upon us. Do you think I'm button with the bug? Do you think me are a fool? Come on, these are mentioned. Och, Mo, the sun just, you made her not very tasty at all. That's stinking. I'm not, Ernie. I'm not certain I'm not. AJ at a place. Be careful, as constabulary is approaching. Go and pair it in a pocket. Please play as a good carrier back. Stone off the ground, so it is. The rain is 3 inches will bounce off the ground. I'm going to make you a bum. My head but you feel. So the house is my treat. I think of a marvelous summer. Expect 4 rain after 3 consecutive days of sun during May, June and July. No danger. Not a chance. Go like is a horn. I have assistant, please, man. Spare 2, Bob Mister. I have funds 10p, please. More than square go. Challenge you to fate. Corey don't sell down. He's a pure widow, way. The chap is unscrupulous. He's a switch on your paper, Paul. have a wee look at your newspaper. Pew the Brown, everyone's know. That's really super. Great. On your bike, but just love it. On your bike! I say for you to leave now. I'm first going some. I'm somewhat upset. If I didn't see you through the week, I see you through the windy one. I'll say again soon. Gaze a shot. Now have a go, sir. Brand in direction. You dancer. Hurry. Sus Oyer, I'm Avsky. I'm not Avsky just yet because I'm going to tell you something there. Examples. So skinny malkinny long legs, meaning a tall thin person. What's your no go by you? What's for you? No go by you. What's meant to happen will happen. Then me Lamrick. Oh, she wait for the future. Hold your wished. In Glasgow, specifically in Glaswegian, is hold your geggy. Fat your geggy, man. Just be quiet, man. Keep the heat. Stay calm. Stay calm. Calm. I find a button which looks like Oreo cookie. So keep the heat, man. I need you to keep the heat and stay calm. I need you to stay calm. Many a man come on, kiss Marco. Oh, small things add up. You make a bear. Do it in the windy. You're obscuring my view. Then I fash yourself. Then I fash yourself. I love it. Then I fash yourself. I love that one. Don't worry, man. It's blowing fully outside. It's very windy outside. Get lolly, man. Get lolly. Get a bit of gusto. Up to Hedu. Or up to about something. I just love it, man. Just love it. And I have a wee challenge for you. Try to say a sentence in Glasgow accent, but Glasgow genuine. A Celtic Maddish challenges this. So there's a moose loose about house. Repeat it hundreds of times, but be faster. Be a wee bit faster every time you say that. So your space must be quicker. It should be quicker. So repeat that. There's a moose loose about house. There's a moose loose about the house. Again. There's a moose loose about the house. There's a moose loose about the house. There's a moose loose about the house. And you're perfect for that pure fast, you know. The very end. So here's your Glasgow genuine and Celtic Maddie. Sending you kisses, man, to all my subscribers, right, my pals, and the fellow Celtic fans. Keep fingers crossed for Lions, Celtic Lions Day, this much. As I'm going to write match report as well tonight. Next time I'm going to, of course, share news something with Celtic things. I'm going to continue to teach you Scots language and Glasgow dialect of Scots. And some facts of Glasgow probably I find something, learn something new. So, alright. See you after. I'm off ski. The new.